Welcome to GamerStation's Browser Games of the Week for the week of February 12th, and I'm your host, Steven Snakeyukin Lindsay. Now this week's going to be another multi-parter. In fact, I'm going to take a guess that all videos from now on are going to be multi-parters. So let's get right into our list. You just keep going down and down and down and down and down, and the ground beneath you just keeps going up and up and up. Yep, it's one of those type of games. The further you can go, the faster and harder it gets to continue to survive. As well as increasing difficulty, the further you go also means you'll be able to get new skins for your character. Like a ninja, or a bunny suit. At least it isn't a zombie, unless it's one of those last three. Computer viruses have advanced so much that they can be spread through the air and can affect any electronic device this way. You get to control one of those viruses that is meant to attack pacemakers. Hey, that explains the title! Anyways, there are two types of viruses that you can control, which are the two difficulty modes as well. On normal, you control one that can fire in 8 directions, as long as it has enough energy on the nodes. On hard, you have a virus that can only fire in a direction once a little ring is in that direction. After each level, you can level up your attributes to make things a little easier for you. On the downside, there's no way to resume where you previously left off. Oh, and it's another game without the pause button! Come on, developers, how hard is that to do? So many spikes! What is this? V? Okay, besides having tons of spikes, it's not all that similar to the game. The point is simple. Go as far as you can for bragging rights. If you touch the spikes on the ceiling or the floor, it will slow you down, and if you're slowed down enough, you will die by being impaled on the spikes behind you. To speed up, you need to collect those circles that you see along the way. And get enough, and you get a boost for a while. Oh, and also, no pause button in this game either. Granted, these games are kind of short, but still. I have a soft spot for music-related games, especially ones that allow me to add my own music. It's why I love AudioSurf so much. Pixel white imports your music and it affects the bars that are in the level. They can end up being high or low. What you're supposed to be collecting are white figures that appear throughout the song. Just not the red bomb ones, as they take away a life. The issue is that sometimes these notes will appear too high for you to be able to reach for that song, and it never gets loud or high enough for you to get them. Then again, as I just mentioned, this seems to depend on the song playing. I had playing Stylo by Gorillaz or Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd, and it never got that high to get them. But put on Valley of the Damned by Dragon Force or Without Me by Eminem, and you have no problem. Also, if you're worried about notes being too low, you can shrink the bars back to 0, but there isn't a way to make them taller. This reminds me of a certain game that we used to play back in my middle school days. Your goal is to seal off an area, and when you do, all connecting lines will be destroyed. In the beginning, there's no rush on how many turns you take to seal off something, but later on, bombs will appear that you must get rid of in a certain number of turns. If one of those bombs blow, or if you use up all of your turns, granted you can get more quite easily in the game, then it'll be game over for you. Okay, I usually don't recommend these type of games, but I'm feeling generous as it is Valentine's Day, and these games may be the only ones with that theme on our list. I could be wrong when I'm recording this. It's a spot the different type of game, and it's really two different games, but they do intersect together, which is why I'm recommending them together. I don't have a lot more to say about it besides that, well, I'm tired of looking at dog butt. Guide your little bird to the checkpoint. It's not that simple. It's never that simple. You guide your bird by using a limited amount of string. The issue is that your bird has brittle bone disease, so if it clips anything, it will die. What's bad is if you barely bump into a wall during the track, You can't just redo that little section. No, you gotta redraw all of it from the beginning, which might mean you might screw up on another part, which then you'll have to redo it all over again. While the first few levels will make you think the game is easy, when you gotta start getting your bird into very tight spaces and have to avoid glass, which you can't see because your birds can't see glass. Wait, birds can't see glass? I didn't know that. I'm really not sure this is how Adam met Eve. Then again, my knowledge involving the Bible is on equal levels of microbiologists knowing about astrology. The goal of the game is to guide Adam, who has fallen head over heels for Eve, through prehistoric caveman times to Eve. You do so by clicking on objects because you are the god in this game. Now, this is one of those games that you gotta click on those objects in a particular order to get things to work, such as clicking on a fruit to make it drop to the ground, then clicking on a turtle so that it sees it, then it goes over to it to only fall into a pit with the spikes. Don't worry, it's alive. And then click on Adam and he walks over the poor little turtle. It's a new week, everyone, and that means that we gotta have at least one game involving zombies because people out there like zombies in their games. I don't know. Staying tried and true to what a lot of zombie-based games are, this is one of those dual-stick style shooter games. If you don't know what that means, then it's kind of simple. You run in one direction, and you can shoot in any other direction that you choose. Also, like those games, expect the usual assortment of guns. There's nothing really new about this game, but it's not really bad. So if you never played one before, or you just want another one for some odd reason, then why not try this one? Also, the voice actor makes me think he's trying to imitate Duke Nukem for some odd reason.
Not again. Get off my lawn. Where's all the hot nurses at?
But nobody can be better than the king, baby. Alchemy, the classical theory that by adding something to one element, you can end up making another if the properties are right, or turning lead into gold. Also popularized in recent ages by the anime/manga Full Metal Alchemist. If you played Doodle God when we recommended it some time back, or when it originally came out, you'll find a lot of similarities to that game in this one. If you haven't, then let me break it down for you. In the beginning, you start off with earth, air, water, and fire. Through combining those elements, you can make new ones. Then you can combine new elements with old elements, or new elements and new elements to make even more new elements. The problem is that after a while, you have so many possible combinations that it becomes a pain to go through all of them and just to see which ones happen to work out. It's a puzzle game involving your character having the ability to duplicate objects as well as himself, and that's all if he has enough energy. Your motive for going through all of this is to find your lost pet cat. With all the spikes and times you can die, I would just kind of forget and just get a new one for Christ's sakes. In fact, getting through some of these rooms question, how did this cat ever escape in the first place? Unless it's a ghost cat. Okay, likely not, but some of these levels can be challenging to get through. Toshi is a dance superstar who has mastered dancing so well that she completely forgot how to walk. Wait, really? How is that even possible? Anyways, your goal is to get her to the dance floor, which for some odd reason is in the middle of the sea. You have to hit objects in the environment to knock her onto the guide floor. Just you can't hit her with your baseball because that kills her. Though the question is, how can you get hit by other objects but not baseballs? I mean, she gets hit by a giant ball projected by TNT, but not a hand-thrown baseball? Have you been wanting to play a game with light cycle racing in it, but want it to be free and don't feel like stealing Tron Evolution the game or Tron 2.0? Then you might enjoy this game. While they're called light speeders, the concept still remains the same. Your vehicle can only move at 90-degree angles, and you leave a wall behind you till you crash into res. The main difference is that these vehicles can actually jump over walls, and that the closer you get to those walls, the faster you can go. Doing those jumps, though, can be easier said than done sometimes. Also, they use the same music that we do in the intro. Weird. Part of the Science Museum's 3-year series entitled Climate Changing, we can expect some meaning to this game. Truth be told, this game was one of those that I couldn't really get into because it just felt too slow for me, but that doesn't mean the game isn't good or that you won't like it. It's a 2D tower defense game of sorts. Your goal is to protect your plant and your troops that gather minerals from the dangerous spores that attack anything within the area. You need to put each troop gathering and protecting in the right spot to be the most effective. Probably not for everyone, but perhaps playing to find the underlying message that it's trying to tell is worth it. And with that, the first part of this week's Browser Games of the Week list is coming to an end. Now our second part will be up Tuesday because, well, I still haven't played all the games that I should have. But anyways, subscribe to us to be up to date on when that video comes out, as well as our Gamer Station Indie Game News videos and any other type of videos that we decide to do. It's only one click away. And remember, please tell your friends, subscribe, like, fave, and comment on this video.